The NBA draft is always a night to remember, especially for the promising young players. But one of the things that made the 2019 draft particularly interesting was that we saw Rui Hachimura become the first player in Japan to be drafted in the first round of the NBA draft, and the fifth player from Japan to ever play in the NBA. Rui already set his first NBA record before even touching an NBA court, which surely gave him some hype and got fans excited around him. His unique backstory and impressive playing agility and skills also added to the mix of things that made Rui an exceptional player. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Rui Hachimura's journey into the NBA and how much potential the young player could turn out to be in the league. Let's get right into it. Rui Hachimura was born on February 8, 1998, in Toyama to a Japanese mother, Makiko, and a Beninese father, Zachary Jabal. Rui means base or fortress in Japanese, and the name was given to him by Rui's grandfather, who was a big fan of baseball, because the name Rui can also be used as base in the context of baseball. His surname, Hachimura, is from his mother's family register. Rui grew up with 3 younger siblings, 1 brother and 2 sisters. One of his sisters, Alan, also played basketball at Tokyo University in Japan. Rui is one of only a handful of citizens of mixed ethnicity in Japan, which is widely regarded as a very homogeneous country, because not many people there are from a different race or ethnicity other than Japanese. Rui shared that growing up. His identity posed a huge challenge for him because of how he instantly stood out from the rest of his peers due to how he looked. Rui said, "It was challenging being in other parts of the country because they didn't really know who I was. They looked at me like a fucking animal or something. It was part of the reason I wanted to come to the US. Everybody is different. I thought it would be good for me." When Rui went to the US for the first time when he was just 12 years old and mainly visited New York, the thing that drew Rui to the US was not its amazing architecture, landscapes, or modern means of transportation, as he was already used to things like that as a result of the time he spent in Tokyo, so he was not too dazzled by those. But rather, what tickled Rui's fancy for New York was the cultural diversity of the place. Rui was especially happy about the fact that he could now carelessly walk the streets in New York without being afraid or insecure that people would see him as strange or weird. Rui said that people were more diverse in New York. In Japan, people looked the same. In New York, people looked different. It was fun just to be a little brat walking around the city. It was new to me. I was anonymous. Rui warmed the heart of the people and managed to grow his fan base in New York, and they supported and loved him. Rui was featured in many commercials on TV and was already a child celebrity. Back then in Japan, Rui had not considered playing in the NBA, but coming to the US during that period gave Rui the extra motivation to go for it. Rui led his high school team, the Messe High School basketball team, to its second title in the All-Japan High School Tournament by putting up an impressive 32 points in a win over Fukuoka University of Hawaii. He did it again in 2014 by helping his team crush the tournament for the second year in a row. In 2015, Rui won yet another All-Japan championship against Chikura Nihon University High School, where he landed 34 points, 19 rebounds, and 3 blocks, making a total of 3 championships for his team. By then, Rui had already started gaining the attention of scouts and was considered by ESPN as one of the best international players entering college. That same year, he signed a letter of intent to play college basketball for the Gonzaga Bulldogs in the US. This was an impressive feat for Rui because Gonzaga is a Division I school, and at the time, Rui was an unranked athlete. Nobody knew of his capabilities, while a majority of American colleges hadn't even heard of him, which is why he was unranked in the 2016 recruiting class. When he started out at Gonzaga, he barely spoke English. Rui claimed he understood 80% of English, but could only speak about 30 to 40% of it. There was nothing so spectacular about Rui's first 2 seasons at Gonzaga, till his 3rd season when he was in the spotlight after winning the West Coast Conference Player of the Year, and he won the Julius Erving Award. Rui averaged about 20 points per game and an impressive 59% shooting from the field, having more playing time and starting opportunities. Rui's playing on the court grew exponentially to the top of the draft board. Rui's offensive plays were quite impressive. He was able to use his 6'8" height and 230 pounds weight to outmaneuver his opponents effectively on the court, and he could easily post up his defenders or get rid of slower players off the dribble in a favorable switch. Rui soon became a matchup beast on the court. Rui was also able to pull off pretty neat jump shots, which made him an even more offensive threat. In Rui's junior season, he was named the preseason All-WCC team. On November 21st, 2018, Rui landed 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists to help upset number 1 ranked Duke in the Maui Invitational Finals. Rui went on to win the MVP title of the tournament. In 2019, Rui was selected as the WCC Player of the Year. On April 15, 2019, Rui announced that he would forego his final year of eligibility and declared for the 2019 NBA Draft. Rui was drafted as the 9th overall pick by the Washington Wizards. Rui signed a 4-year deal worth $20,341,348 with the Wizards, guaranteed with a yearly salary of $5,085,337. Rui became the first Japanese player ever to be selected in the first round of an NBA draft, and the second Japanese-born player to be drafted into the NBA after Yasutaka Okayama, who was drafted 11th overall in the 1981 NBA draft. The Wizards coach, Scott Brooks, wasn't that familiar with Rui before the draft, but according to everyone else, he picked the best player for the team. Scott described Rui, saying, "He's a really good basketball player that has a great upside. He's a two-way player. He's just going to be a great teammate. He's coachable." I talked to Gazanga head coach Mark Thursday morning, and he just said, "Coach, it's going to be like he was heaven sent in your locker room. He's going to work his tail off every single day. He's one of those kids that will get up in the morning, early morning, 6 o'clock in the morning workouts, and feel like he has to do it, because if he doesn't, he won't have a good day the rest of the day." Those are the type of guys we need. Over the offseason, Rui carried that same seal from Japan into the Wizards. Even as a rookie, he'd already been starting in games from the beginning of the season, and Rui played impressively. From day one, Rui already started displaying his sleek offensive skills, from turnaround jump shots to fadeaways, and how he was able to drive into the paint to attack the rim. Rui encountered a bit of an issue in his third season with the Wizards, when the team made a trade moving Russell Westbrook and a second draft pick in the 2024 and 2028 drafts to the Lakers in exchange for Kyle Kuzma, Caldwell Pope, and Isaiah Jackson. The issue for Rui was Kuzma could play the 3, but played the 4 a lot, which happened to also be Rui's position. Kuzma averaged 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists, and more or less stole some of the spotlight Rui was getting. As if that wasn't enough, the Wizards traded for power forward Kristaps Porzingis, which made Rui's chances of making it to the starting lineup even slimmer. Porzingis was putting up 22 points and 9 rebounds, and worked well with Kuzma in the front, which led Rui only starting 13 games in his third season, where he ended up with a career low of 11 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist per game. Rui was later traded by the Wizards on January 23, 2023 to the Los Angeles Lakers in exchange for Kendrick Nunn. Rui played his first game for the Lakers 2 days after his move there, and landed 12 points and 6 rebounds in a 113-104 win over the San Antonio Spurs. Rui also plays internationally for the Japanese national team at the 2013 FIBA Asia U16 Championship in Iran. Rui led the Japanese national team to a third-place finish, where he averaged 22.8 points, 12.6 rebounds, and 2.8 blocks. Rui competed in the Albert Schweitzer tournament in Germany, in which he led Japan's under-18 national team, although finishing last place. In the 2017 FIBA Under-19 Basketball World Cup, Rui put up 20.6 points and 11 rebounds in a contest. Rui also competed in a qualification round for the 2019 FIBA World Cup. He scored 25 points, which helped Japan defeat Iran for a 70-56 win. Rui also scored a game-high 34 points in a game against Slovenia during the preliminary round of the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. Rui still has a lot to prove on the court, and enough time to prove it to everyone. But just looking at these stats, I guess we can say those days of Rui achieving more insane feats in the NBA are almost upon us. What do you think about Rui's potential as an elite NBA player? Feel free to let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.